2024 was a busy year for space exploration. In April, China sent a 3-person crew to the Tiangong space station, part of an ambitious plan to send taikonauts to the moon by 2030. That crew returned to Earth safely in the fall, replaced by another 3-person crew, including China's first female spaceflight engineer.
I want to meticulously complete each task and protect our home in space. I also want to travel in the deep space and wave at the stars.
China's Chang'e 6 lunar probe returned samples from the far side of the moon, a first in lunar research, establishing that volcanoes were erupting on the mysterious far side of the moon billions of years ago.
It has a different history to the near side of the moon, and understanding those details will tell us a lot about the formation of the moon and also the formation of Earth.
And China launched the Long March 12 rocket, the first launch from China's new commercial spaceport, the Wenchang Commercial Spacecraft Launch Site.
Our achievements over the past 2 years have been validated. What we have accomplished is a success, and it proves that our team is highly capable.
Russian cosmonaut Oleg Kononenko broke the record for most time spent in space. By the time he returned to Earth in September, he had spent 1,111 days in space over 5 missions. NASA, the U.S. space agency, launched the Europa Clipper bound for an icy moon of Jupiter that may have the conditions to support life, and said farewell to the Ingenuity Mars Explorer, the first helicopter to operate on Mars. It was only supposed to operate for 30 days, but lasted 3 years before sustaining damage in January. And researchers have concluded that a meteorite from Mars that landed on Earth contains evidence that hot water was present on the red planet billions of years ago. Private space companies play a large role in the U.S. space scene. Blue Origin and Virgin Galactic both launched successful short trips into suborbital space. Texas-based Axiom used a SpaceX Crew Dragon to deliver 4 crew members to the International Space Station, and SpaceX's largest craft, dubbed Starship, flew a successful unpiloted test flight, and for the first time, the heavy first-stage booster was recovered by robotic arms back at the launch pad. But it was a difficult year for Boeing. The aerospace giant's Starliner made its first crewed mission in June, successfully delivering 2 U.S. astronauts to the International Space Station. It was supposed to return them to Earth after 8 days, but NASA concluded Starliner might not be safe and sent the Boeing craft back with 2 empty seats. Instead, the American astronauts are slated to return to Earth early next year on a SpaceX Dragon, which is already docked at the ISS.
The decision to keep Butch and Sonny aboard the International Space Station and bring the Boeing Starliner home uncrewed is a result of a commitment to safety.
Boeing and NASA are studying Starliner to determine whether it can remain a viable part of the U.S. space program. If Starliner is deemed unsafe, Boeing's manned space program faces an uncertain future. Jim Spellman, CGTN, Washington.